Welcome to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. After a segment open proves that they are underachievers, Pat and James engage in a thoughtful discussion of what it means to have an immersive creative career and not be a complainer. So you start with the hey James, I've got an idea.
What's my idea? Do I tell you my idea?
No, I've got an idea.
You've got an idea.
Yeah. So you say hey James.
Oh, okay, okay, perfect. Sorry. Fuck. I must have dropped 30 IQ points when I made this cup of tea. Okay. Hey, James.
Fuck off. Go to hell.
Fuck
Leave me
off.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey,
I can't do this. I'm trying to learn to be more assertive.
Oh, you know what? Thank you for that model
I
of
overshot the mark.
how not to be assertive.
Yeah, well, I went too far.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I hear you. Fuck off. Sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes you got to be assertive.
Yeah. Sometimes it needs to be, but we live in a society where kindness is valued. And
Yeah.
so,
hmm
we're not allowed to literally just say, yell fuck off at everybody.
Yeah, so
Sad.
fill me in. Fill me in a little on this
Well, I'm thinking here we are, right? We have these creative adjacent careers. We also have our own creative work, right?
Yeah.
And so those are always in tension,
Yes.
right? We want more time from the creative adjacent work to indulge in the creative work, but it's the creative adjacent work that allows us to have money to pay the bills and go do fun things. So they're
hmm
both, there's like this tension that's constantly going between them. And then you've got, you know, wanting to be social, or other people wanting to be social with you, or all of these things that come in there. And so the thinking is that we are in these immersive careers where we use our time differently.
Yeah. Then somebody
It
with a say a jobby job. So,
Right.
yeah, and I'd like to add to that, we often work at home, people who do creative adjacent or, side hustle, whatever you want to call that, to pay all
Mhm.
their bills and then have this other thing they really like doing with their time. They don't work for other people usually. They don't go into an office.
Mhm.
Sometimes they do both, but if you've got to the point where your side hustle is paying all your bills, or I hate that term actually, but your creative adjacent work is paying all your bills, not just your bills, but the family bills, like everything
Mhm.
is being carried by this type of self-employment, then
Mhm.
you don't usually also rent an office unless you are co-renting or co-working or, doing a shared space thing. I mean, I did rent an office for years for my creative adjacent work of developmental editing. However, that's not the norm, and it's not what I do now. And so you're protecting. So when you work for somebody else in a jobby job, you can get out of a lot of demands on your time by saying, I'm going to work, and then you leave the house, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Physically leaving.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
eh,
And so,
yeah,
the other thing too is when you physically leave and you say, I am at work,
hmm
there's this sort of, okay, you're at work. When you're not at work, I am at leisure, right?
yeah, right.
And so for us, when we're not at work on the thing that people perceive as our job, which is
Yeah,
the thing that earns money,
yeah,
then the assumption can often be you are at leisure.
it can, and
Right.
and that creates a bit of a problem because you're not at leisure. You need that time to work on to do your stuff, And
Mhm.
sometimes if you're a writer, right, doing your stuff looks like staring out the window. And if you so yeah, it can be tricky because there's this other factor, which is that for me, I actually need quite a bit of downtime. I need not downtime as in I'm resting or anything. I mean, I'm like sweeping the floor thinking about my book, or
Right.
I'm
Right.
washing the dishes thinking about my book. So it looks like you should be able to talk to me, but I'm not really there to be talked to. And that works because I live, in a house with my kid, one of my daughters, and she knows me. So she
Yeah.
knows, if I'm focused on something, just don't like go have a conversation by yourself. It's not that bad. I mean, if I'm in a public room, obviously I'm available to be talked to, but it's easy to read the room for
Yeah.
people who live around me and, people like me. Whereas if you have a social thing going on or there's a reason why you have to be around other people, but they don't know that you're actually just trying to get your downtime in, then it
Mm.
can it can feel like your attention's getting pulled in a lot of different ways, or you just got to give up on your shit for a few days or weeks or hours or whatever it is.
Yeah, and so there's you know lots of thoughts competing with each other. So there's this need to protect our creative and work time,
Yeah,
right? Um, but there's also a need to get out and be social
yeah,
because that feeds our creative minds,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's as necessary as anything.
yeah,
Even though we have this constant internal struggle or battle that always makes us feel like we're not doing enough for our creative work,
yeah. Could
right?
be. Yeah.
And so, I watched this movie. I think it's called Spivak,
Mm,
and it's about this guy. And just really, really quick, it wasn't a great movie, but it was interesting that he's a writer. He's stuck, and he says no to everything. He's antisocial basically,
yeah.
and his roommates are like, "No, you've got to go out." And so finally, he does, and ends up having this sort of social thing and finds his way to realizing that he's got to have a better balance to be able
Hmm.
to open himself up creatively. And it really resonated with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because it's very easy to fall into those modes where you say no to everything because you have to be so protective of that workspace.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that got me thinking too is on Netflix. There's this limited streaming series called, I think it's the Four Seasons,
Okay.
and it's based on a Alan Alda movie, a Carol Burnett Alan Alda movie that
Yeah.
was really good back in the like 70s or something. And
Yeah.
this show's it's really nice, and it's about a group of friends sort of navigating life, and they're
Okay.
all at different stage. But the thing that I really got from it is they have this core group of friends that they're always socializing with, and whenever they show up, there's just this natural affinity,
Right.
right? So it's not like I'm entering a new space. I'm not, they just have known each other for so long that they can have big fights.
Yeah.
Well as, all these really great times. And I was thinking, I'm really missing that.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the same time, the Spivak side of me
Right.
is saying, no. And then you get into these situations, and we had talked a little bit about this. Where because we're nice people
Hmm.
and society does not allow us to just say fuck off to
Yeah.
people, where it can be very easy to kind of not be as direct as we need to be,
Yeah.
you know?
To say
And
no to socializing
yeah,
opportunities. Is that,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, or to draw a line or a boundary.
Right. Oh my
If
God, that's come
people,
up for me a couple times lately. I think and I take full responsibility for being a little too vague about something where, like it's difficult for me to show up and because I have to spend a lot of time doing the other stuff I do and I don't want to sound like an asshole or like I think, I'm some important person that because I'm not, right? I mean, I'm squeaking by and I'm not even a very, I'm an okay writer, so it's like but the reality is you just need a lot of time to do your shit.
yeah,
And by that I mean your writing or whatever your thing is. And so sometimes, you know, I'll make plans ahead of time and then get to the day and go, ooh,
Yeah.
not good timing for me, and also don't want to, and also, but I already said I would. So I go. I always go if I said I would go, unless I'm
Uh-huh.
physically ill, right?
Uh-huh.
Or I was produce, whatever it was, like bring something to this place or whatever I've committed to. And at the same time, it taps me out, right? It's just if it's not a good time, it's not a good
Mhm.
time, and so I think there's this kind of wording that's eluding me for saying no in the first place to things that I only said yes to because they were so far away, it didn't seem real,
Right. Right.
you know? Um, or maybe to, like you said, putting up enough boundaries that my psychic energy is a little bit protected from my own need to sort of just be a good friend or please other people or
Yeah.
whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, I have a similar but sort of flip side of that coin where I'm really good at anticipating how I'm gonna feel when I have to go to that social thing
Oh, yeah.
and that inspires me to say no,
Say no
right?
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to want to be there, when it's going to happen. And,
Yeah.
and part of this is that protecting of that, the sacred creative space, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Hmm.
And some of it is also just because everything we do is so immersive, right?
Yeah.
When
It's
you're working
energetically.
and it takes up energy and it takes up mental energy, so there's something to be said, like you said, just kind of having that time to stare out the window or have,
Yeah.
have the mind shut down and not have to be remembering, oh, I'm going to be out with these three people. Did one of them recently have a birthday? What are their kids doing?
Yeah.
Didn't their wife do something weird?
Yeah. Is it a
um
potluck? Am I supposed to bring something? Then maybe I have to
yeah,
go to the store and take 2 hours in the morning to make this thing. Or, like
yeah.
it builds, right? And so it is very easy to pull a Spivak or whatever and just say
Mhm.
no to everything. But it robs you of input, right? Because everybody needs
Yeah.
to stock the pond, and if you're never out there having experiences, there's nothing in the pond to pull out and put in your story. So um, there's
Yeah.
that kind of tension, and then there's all of just the if you're a householder and you do a lot of the heavy lifting around your house, you've got all of
Mhm.
that. They used to call it the second shift, right? Because it was,
Yep.
you know, you work full time and then you go home and do all the full time
Oh yeah.
cooking, cleaning, blah, blah, blah. Most households are a little bit more egalitarian now, but there's still lots of single parent households where that's the reality. And so the other part is you cannot give up your source of income, and that comes with sometimes a feast or famine cycle in the creative
Mhm.
adjacent industries. So there's all these other factors where you just might be completely tapped out from having pedal to the
Yeah.
metal on the paid work for 10 or 12 weeks where you were pulling 12-hour days, and that's hard to convey to somebody who's got a 35 and a half hour week or 37 and a
Right.
half hour week. It's very hard to it's hard for them to relate. I would imagine. I only know a couple people who worked jobby jobs who really
Mhm.
relate to and
Yeah.
go, okay, I get it. You can do this, but you can't do that, and you'd rather even not do this, or you'd rather only do it for an hour and a half. I can respect that, and but I never talk to people about my personal feelings about stuff like that because I feel like that's kind of it's my responsibility to just draw the lines without explaining why. Maybe I don't explain enough. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. That's a really great point, I think, is you can get to this place where it feels rude to say no or to
Hmm.
set like a boundary, like, yes, I can do it, but I'm really gonna have to leave by like 8,
Yeah.
right? And people are like, 8? That's like, what do you mean, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you get into this sort of peer pressure, but also kind of your own mind being like, I don't want to be rude to these people that I care about or
Yeah.
that I'm, trying to get out with and be more out. Um, but there's there's this lack of understanding because we haven't told the story, you
You
know?
know, yeah. And I think I'm just realizing now I feel like if I explained, it would sound like I'm complaining.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't like complaining. Nobody
Oh, I
likes a
hate complaining.
complainer, right?
Yeah.
So when I do explain, because I've explained, and
Mhm.
I'm really just complaining. That's exactly what it sounds like. Because it's so weird because it is such a strange, self-punishing crucible that we put ourselves in with this paid work and then this side job and the side
Yeah.
creative work and then the responsibilities and then the need to just be alone quite a bit. And so you can't it's hard to explain that without making it sound like hell. But
Oh, I
it's
know. Why can't you come out? Why can't you do this? And it's like, well, okay, so I've got a full day of work for my client, but then I've got to do, this thing and that thing. And then it's like, well, why don't you just not do that? Because, that sounds like a lot. It sounds like you're working too much. It sounds
yeah,
like you're overburdening yourself. And
yeah.
I don't want to have that conversation.
I don't want to have that either. And then you say, you might try put up a guardrail, say let's or a boundary and say, well, I'll come to this part, but I have to leave early because I have to leave early. And then so I don't make up stuff, right? If somebody says, why are you going to leave? Oh, sure. If it's my daughter's birthday, I'll use that as the reason, even if the
Hmm.
party doesn't start for 5 hours. But the other thing is, it's very hard to, I don't know if it's hard to say or you just don't feel like people will believe you, is like, I need to go home and be by myself.
Yeah.
I just
I
need to be
need to
alone,
Yeah,
you
I need
know?
to sit quietly and think about why this character isn't doing what I need it to do in the way that it needs to be done.
Yeah. Or even just, I need to randomly leaf through this a book I'm finding kind of really super interesting and inspirational that's going to tweak another idea, maybe maybe that night, maybe 3 nights from now, and then it's going to feed into this thing that's sort of amorphously half
Mhm.
working that needs an extra little bit. And it's like they're like, well, can I come with you?
I know. Here you are trying to explain in a quick way the chain reaction of creativity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I
And
don't I don't try.
yeah, I don't try either. And so then you look, antisocial and um I like for me being on the like I'm not a big fan of being on the phone anyway because I don't hear as well, especially now that everybody uses cell phones. Like
Yeah,
it's different when it was landlines. It
yeah,
was a little easier. But I'm also just sort of like, all right, I'm gonna have an hour-long phone conversation with somebody, and I'm still going to have to finish this chapter. I'm still going to have to do this. I'm still,
yeah,
so it it feels really hard, and so then I get avoidant
yeah,
of
yeah. You
those
don't want to
things.
start it because it's going to
Yeah,
take too long. Yeah.
yeah, and and so again, and I don't want to have to explain. Well, wine,
Well, this is it, right?
right?
It's it's the part. I think there's a bunch of reasons why I find it sometimes difficult to navigate this multi, this and I don't, we're not special, right? We're
Yeah,
we're underachievers at best. And here we are
yeah.
like still having problems because we have more stuff going on than we can explain without sounding like we're complaining.
Hmm.
And I think wondering now, I'm starting to wonder, should we only hang out with other creative people? Because they get it.
Yeah, they do get it. When
They'll
you,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Or
when you're
most of the
hanging
time they'll get it.
other, and no matter what it is, other artists, whatever, when they see that distracted look, if the next thing that they hear is I gotta go, there's no need for explanation. It's like, oh, okay, you
Yeah.
know, maybe there's everything okay? Oh yeah, no, I just had an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, go,
It's all you have to say
write
is
it
I
down
just,
before you leave,
yeah,
you know?
just had an idyou
Yeah.
right? They're never going to say, well, stay here and let it dissipate because who cares about your stupid idea?
Yeah. You no, or tell you what you need,
Oh, fuck.
right? yeah, that's not going to fly.
Like, give an
And
example.
well, like the big one is you work too much, you need more time off.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that one. Yeah.
There's that one, or no, you need to sit and socialize and connect right
You're
now.
right.
You know, mm,
Actually, no, just did that.
no,
Thanks.
yeah, no, that's over. That
Gave me an
that
idea.
period's
I gotta
over.
go.
Yeah, you said something smart. It's your fault.
We can do it without being cruel. Uh,
Fuck off, right?
you're right.
And we're back to fuck off,
Come to
which doesn't sound like we're complaining.
no, it sounds hostile and a little bit like we don't care, and it's not.
Yeah, yeah, but it's
We,
not complaining.
oh, thank God. Yeah, the complaining part, honestly, because I'll stop myself from saying, well, I've got, I got to do 9 hours worth of editing, and then
Mhm.
I've got like a 1 hour window to work on this, and then, so I can squeeze you in, but I have to go back, right? It's not
Yeah.
over. So it's like, well, who wants to be squeezed in by anybody who isn't a fucking surgeon, like nobody. You
I
know
was
what I
just
mean? It
thinking
just
if we
makes
were
us.
doctors, it'd be so much easier,
It would-
Oh, it's a patient. Patient. I gotta run.
Do you think
Patient
it's
needs,
too late to create
you
this
know,
elaborate facade of
yeah.
being a doctor?
Yeah, life or death. Yeah. Change send out a blast email to all your friends. I am now a medical professional.
I mean, and I'm not even talking about a tons of friends right now because I just went through this thing with my mom where I basically cut contact with everybody, and just kind of went, not everybody, but a lot of friends, and just if I saw them once every 6 months, it would be kind of a miracle, because it's really sticking with family, kids, mom and work, basically.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I think we've both been through that
Yeah.
dealing with parents and all that kind of
Yeah.
routine, which boy, talk about putting some pressure on
Yeah.
spacing out time.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, totally. And you wonder how you'd never get shit done. Like your writing isn't happening as much. And then you're like, well, actually it kind of makes sense that
Mhm.
there was no space for it. So I'm
Mhm.
amazed that I even managed to write as much as I did actually in the last 3 or 4 years. I was kind of beating myself up
Mhm.
going, man, you kind of wasted the last X years. And I'm like, no, I actually didn't. I did my
Yeah.
best. I wrote a
Well,
lot.
you took a month to go to an undisclosed location just to get away
Yes, this year has been
and
different, and I've been
produce.
working steadily on that novel, and it's been
Yeah.
really good. But I feel like it still has to be protected. If somebody comes into town, that my writing time is just gone. It's up to me to say
Mhm.
because it's every person's special, right? So they're
Right.
like, well, I'm here for the X days, or this is my where it's FIFA. Come down and do this with me. We're
Mhm.
gonna watch this, and
Mhm.
and so everything is only happens once, right? It's like you never
Right.
step into the same river twice. So the idea is that sure, you can miss this special week or you can miss this special day or whatever because it only happens once. But the fact is, there's 10 other people who are having special weeks and special days who want some of your time, right? And so
Mhm.
you will miss every week and every day if you can't say no.
Yeah. Yeah. And as we were saying, saying that no can be really hard. And because, why? Right? Because the next question
It's
is
always why.
tends to be why. And then it gets to feeling like the whining about, oh, I'm so busy. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, and I've had people say, well, you're always so busy,
yeah.
you know,
That's the
like,
point.
and it's like, yeah, but it's good busy, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And the other thing I was going to say too, we were talking about, that it's either feast or famine, or it kind of goes through those cycles.
Hmm.
And I'm still trying to figure out for the year of 2024 why I felt or literally was so incredibly busy,
Yeah.
yet had such a poor year for my personal work production and financial,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, how does that happen? How do you end up being so busy and not have things work out?
Oh, been there.
And but here, and again, it feeds into this, where is this balance, right?
Yeah.
So I agree that we are, we may be creatives, but we're still human,
Yeah.
and we need that social contact. And maybe this is why, and they, the great ones get written about, where they have different, artist friend groups, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So de Kooning and that crowd
Yeah.
had, they were socializing basically with each other, and all these kinds of things. Is maybe it just, it's attractive to have that kind of friend group, because it's easy to walk away when you need
Yeah.
to walk away, and it's easy to go be around when you need to be around.
Yeah, they get it. There's no explaining needed. And so it doesn't sound like complaining because you're not doing it at all. They just get it. You don't have to talk about it. I wonder if we're doing our you know, our what do you call them? Jobby job friends a disservice by thinking that um we just don't say anything about why it's so hard to spend time together because it sounds like complaining to us, but they really don't know the reality. Like
Mhm.
maybe it wouldn't sound like complaining, but I have had the same response too, is like, oh, you work too much. And
Mhm.
it's just some people get it, some don't. It's just really hard to say. And some people don't give a shit, It's like, can you come or can't you? Like, don't, it's not about you. And that's great. Then it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
then it's just a yes or no, It's not oh man, am I gonna hurt
yeah.
their feelings, right? It's because it's
Yeah, people who, who
easier.
you can show up, you can pop in, pop out, and they don't mind one little bit. And I think that's like, there's a natural, sort of process for some people that they get into those. But the problem is, then you're forming a bubble,
It's
right?
true.
And
Yeah.
it's too incestuous, it's too arts driven, and so
Right.
you're not getting that external exposure. Because I mean, when I think about writing, it's about capturing things that are real and expressing a truth that either somebody hasn't heard, or in a way that they haven't yet heard. And the
Hmm.
only way you're going to get to that is when you're out in real life,
Yeah.
being around people. And that is true even if, whether you're a genre writer, if you're writing romance, you still need to have those connections, right?
Yeah.
Because you also, you need to hear these new weird stories,
Yeah. Oh, for
that
sure.
people are like, oh, I had this friend who did this and had this crazy thing happen that, trigger. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I could use something
Well,
like
yeah, and even just story ideas, because like one of my kids is working in a hotel, and I've got a story idea from something that, there's a job in the hotel that I kind of knew about but didn't really know about, and I'm like, that's really interesting. It was actually her idea, and I stole it with her permission. But yes, so if there are no jobby job contacts. Like I've never had a situation where all my friends are artists or creatives. Never. I mean, the closest I got was when I did my MFA and we stayed in like student housing for 10 days.
that. Hmm.
And everybody was working on stuff. Everybody, and that was
Yeah.
great, but I didn't know them to begin with. We
Yeah.
were basic strangers to each other because it was an international program. So, um, yeah, so it's kind of complicated to even imagine for me b being able to only see people who also do creative work and creative adjacent work because I think there would be a lot of fun talking shop, but also think, yes, you're right that it's everybody's needed to feed the
Hmm.
imagination.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, pulling from this,
Hmm.
uh, there's a question of sort of telling this, better explaining, having more trust in our social
Oh,
circles.
I like the way you put that. Yeah, maybe it is a trust thing. I just don't trust them to understand, so I don't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having a little bit more trust, setting a personal boundary where, we say, oh, you know what, I have to go.
Yeah.
And somebody says why, and be like, you know, not feeling like we have to explain the entirety of it so that it feels like whining, but maybe a little curtness isn't such a bad thing to say, I have some creative work I need to go do.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
yeah.
yeah, and it's
Mhm.
up to them to either be like, "Oh, that's great," or "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Are you blowing me off, brushing me off?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And another one, which a friend of mine said the other, I guess I was kind of whining about this. My friend said, when you set boundaries, like for interaction, say you're invited to something or you want to go, and it turns into it's taking way longer than you thought, whatever it is, like whether it's a party or a get together at a pub or something, and set expectations ahead of time so that the person that you're meeting with, you're not the first person
Mhm.
they've talked to all week and they're expecting you to be there for 6 hours. You're like, great, I'll go for this part and then I've got to bugger off by 4 or whatever. And if you
Mhm.
don't have to bugger off by 4, then you have the choice at that point to say, oh, guess what? I'm still
Yeah,
free, or okay, gotta go. See you later. And so
yeah,
then it's not this kind of why thing.
yeah, yeah. And I think the other thing too is, a little bit more directness because I can be
Oh,
very vague
I can be so
with
vague because
people
I just
because
don't
I'm
want to.
trying to avoid
Yeah.
whatever and
Yeah.
feeling guilty, about not being whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm feeling torn because you like them and you want to spend time, but you also know that there's 365 days in a year, and there's this quote by Harry Crews, everyone wants you to go to the park and eat popcorn. Like it's just, if you have people who you like that like you back in your life, there's a
Yeah.
lot of like friends. I'm talking about friends.
Yeah.
The there's this kind of it's everybody wants to keep going sometimes, and in whatever little occasion it is. So yeah, so being clearer, and then also I think I need to work on my setting expectations scripts.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
I need to actually come up with a fucking script, like a press conference where they're saying, "Have you found the killer?" And the cops are head cops at the front going, or our team is doing 100%, or whatever the hell they say in those things. I'll be like,
So
not my
you'll
idea
be
either.
before you go out, pripping the hair, makeup, getting yourself together, looking in the mirror, practicing.
My
Well,
script.
no, really, I've got to go.
Yeah, right? You know what? It always makes me feel like I'm being egotistical when I'm planning my exit strategy. I'm like, nobody gives a shit if I'm there or not? But the reality is, when you're friends with people, they do give a shit if you're there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, and for me, because I'm sort of on this flip side of the coin as you, where you feel like you're saying yes too much. I feel like I'm saying no too much. And
Yeah.
I'm missing out on really having a much tighter, meaningful social circle immediately around me. I have wonderful, wonderful friends, but we're all kind of scattered about.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, you know, making, boy, we could have another experiment here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, saying yes more and also being the catalyst to say, hey, let's get together, let's go out, meet at 6 p.m., but I got to be done by 9,
Yeah. Well, this is
or
it.
something like that.
Yeah. I've read about one person, I think she's a writer, and she just goes, I think it's 1 day a week. For me, I couldn't do that often. I'm already setting guardrails, but she'll go to a coffee shop and she'll just say, I'll be at this table from 9 till noon. And then, or whatever, and her friends can drop by, anybody. She'll end up sometimes having coffee with 5 or 6 people over that period, and a few will know each
Uh-huh.
other and stuff like that. And it's like, huh,
You
I
know,
wouldn't do that personally. It's a bit like a salon, I suppose. But another thought is maybe there might be, okay, this is veering into a different topic, so I'll keep it really short. But you ever think about the future you and the kind of life you want to be living? I want to be writing
Mhm.
more, maybe traveling a bit more, stuff like that, right? And I want to be able to speak Spanish because there's so many countries where that's the country, right?
Right.
Where that's the
Right.
language. And I was thinking yesterday, I was thinking, I could just join a meetup group for Spanish language conversation, right? In addition
Mhm.
to the app on my phone, and then go meet up with people I don't know and talk Spanish. And I'm like, there must be artist and creative meetups groups where you could kind of have the beginning of a little circle there, and then, that's a thing that you can do to be around people.
Yeah, I've tried that and it's
Oh,
just been really unsatisfying.
yeah, that's it? Okay. Yeah.
Because it's too much like um there's a it's hard to explain, but I think one of the well, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but it's been a little bit challenging because everybody is sort of on a different plane,
Yeah. I see what you mean.
and it feels a little bit more faux socialization too,
Yeah. Yeah.
as opposed to real, that really good, relationship building,
Yeah.
where
I
you
get
connect
you.
with somebody,
Yeah. And it's
yeah,
also adding something. I mean, we're actually talking about
yeah.
saying no. So why
Well,
let's
I'm
cut
talking
that.
about saying
Let's
yes.
let's cut that part. Oh, yeah, you were talking about saying yes. Okay, okay. But
Well,
yeah,
saying no when I need to say no in a more, clear way that's not vague, where people are like, what the heck is that all about?
yeah,
But then, being more open to social experiences,
yeah,
because there's a creative and just a human value to
yeah,
that. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, finding the balance.
Well, we've kind of we've come up with some sort of ideas, but I think you know what? This feels like we're normalizing it. You're totally normalizing it for me that there is this kind of complicated landscape when
Yeah.
in our situation.
Yeah. Yeah. We're unique, in a way. It doesn't make us special, but it does make us unique, I
Yes,
would say.
and we're not just talking about our gifted underachievers. We're talking about anybody who has a creative adjacent business and also does creative work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very immersive, and that makes for differences.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, weirdo.
Yeah. I'm going. I'm leaving.
Fuck off.
Walking out the door. Yeah. Fuck you.
Good.
You rude bitch. Thanks for listening to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. We'd love to hear how we're doing, so please leave a comment, join our chat page, or send us an email at giftedunderachievers@substack.com. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you like to download your podcasts. Please, though, hit the share and or subscribe button. It really does help. The algorithm is always paying attention, and it helps people find us. So thanks for doing that. And as always, have an awesome day.